Hello everyone and welcome to the GCSE ESL speaking test. Today we will hear a student do the speaking test, discussing shopping and moving house. I will also offer advice on how to do well in this part of the exam. Before we begin, let's go over the format of this test. There is an introduction and a warm-up followed by 3 parts that cover different aspects of speaking, an interview, giving a short talk, and a final part with a discussion. In the introduction, the examiner states the candidate's name and number, then welcomes the candidate to the speaking test. After that, the examiner explains the procedures for the test. Let's hear this introduction.
Candidate number 1182. Candidate name Nina Kumari. Welcome to the GCSE ESL speaking test. First we will start with a short warm-up where I will ask you some questions to find out more about you. This part is not assessed. After the warm-up, there are 3 assessed parts to the test: an interview, a short talk, and a discussion.
In the warm-up, the examiner will have a brief conversation with you, lasting 1 to 2 minutes, using 3 questions, and here an example of a warm-up.
Now let's start with a few questions for your speaking exam. First, could you tell me where you live?
I live in Chennai, which is a vibrant city in the southern part of India.
Chennai, that's wonderful. Now, how did you spend your last holiday?
During my last holiday, I had a wonderful time. I visited my grandparents in the picturesque town of Shimla. It's in the Himalayan foothills, and the weather there is always refreshing. We went on some fantastic hikes, and I got to know more about our family history from my grandparents. It was a truly enriching experience.
That sounds like a lovely trip. What subject do you most enjoy at school?
I really enjoy studying history. History is like a journey through time, and it helps me understand how our world has evolved. Learning about different cultures, ancient civilizations, and the struggles and achievements of people from the past is truly fascinating to me. I find it quite inspiring and insightful. History is a great subject indeed.
After the warm-up, there is an interview, the first part of the test for assessment. It gives you the chance to demonstrate your level of English proficiency and communication skills. The interview is based on a topic, and you will be asked 3 questions. Let's look at the questions and hear an example of an interview.
The first assessed part of the test is an interview. I'm going to ask you some questions about shopping. Try to say as much as you can for each question. Before we start, do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, let's begin. Can you tell me about your favorite place to shop?
My favorite place to shop is definitely the local market in my hometown. It's a vibrant, bustling place filled with various stalls and vendors. The market offers an incredible variety of goods, from fresh produce to handmade crafts and clothing. What I love most about it is the authentic experience and the chance to interact with the local sellers.
That sounds like a delightful place to shop. Now, could you tell me something you bought recently and explain why you chose to purchase it?
Certainly. Recently, I bought a beautiful hand-embroidered shawl from a small store in the market. The design and colors immediately caught my eye. I decided to purchase it because it felt like a piece of art I could wear. This purchase was special because I had a chance to meet the person who created it. She explained the time and effort she had put into making the shawl and that her personal connection added value to the item. I wanted to support her and take home a unique, locally made item I could cherish.
That's a wonderful choice. Now, for the last question, do you think all shopping will be online in the future? And tell me why or why not.
That's an interesting question. While online shopping has certainly become more popular in recent years, I don't think all shopping will be done online in the future. There are certain things about physical shopping that can't be replaced. As I mentioned earlier, the personal interactions of traditional markets or stores are irreplaceable. People enjoy trying on clothes, feeling the textures of fabrics, and physically examining products. However, online shopping offers convenience and a good selection, which is hard to beat. It's especially valuable when you're looking for specific items or when you're pressed for time. So I believe that both online and offline shopping will coexist in the future. The key will be balancing the two to cater to different shoppers' preferences.
After the interview, there is a short talk, the second part of the test for assessment. It gives you the opportunity to demonstrate your understanding of a given topic and your ability to organize and communicate effectively. For this part of the test, you will be given a card with information about the topic. This part will last for 3 to 4 minutes. With an explanation by the examiner, 1 minute to read and prepare for the talk, and up to 2 minutes to talk about the topic on the card. You are not allowed to write any written notes, but you can keep the card until the end of the talk. You should read the prompt card carefully and plan your talk by considering the structure, which will be an introduction, main points, and a conclusion. Make sure during the talk to use clear, concise language to present your ideas and organize your thoughts. It is important to keep track of time, so your talk fits within the time limit. So let's look at the card.
The second assessed part of the test is a short talk. I will give you a card and you will have 1 minute to read it and think about what you want to say. You should talk about the points on the card. You can't make any written notes, but you can ask me if there is anything you do not understand. You may keep the card until the end of the short talk. Here is your card. You now have up to 2 minutes to talk about the topic on the card. I will stop you after 2 minutes, but do not worry if you have not finished your talk. Would you like to start?
Yes, I'm ready. I want to talk to you about an exciting decision my family is facing. We're planning to move to a new house, and we have to decide between an apartment in the city or a house in the countryside. Let me share some thoughts on the advantages and disadvantages of each choice. First, let's consider an apartment in the city. The city offers a great lifestyle with easy access to work, schools, and entertainment. Living in an apartment can be convenient as it often requires less maintenance and usually comes with good security. However, city life can be noisy and crowded, and the cost of living will be higher. On the other hand, a house in the countryside offers a peaceful environment. We'd have more space, fresh air, and closer to nature. The cost of living is generally lower, and there's a sense of community. However, it might mean a longer trip to work or school, and access to certain places, like shopping centers and entertainment venues, may be difficult. Personally, I lean towards the idea of a house in the countryside. I believe that the peace and quiet and natural beauty of the countryside can offer a better quality of life. Plus, it's an excellent place to grow up, with open spaces and a strong sense of community. Although the commute may be longer, in conclusion, both options have their pros and cons, and the decision depends on individual preferences. For my family, the peaceful life in the countryside makes it the best choice.
After the talk, there is a discussion, which is the final part of the test for assessment. It gives you the opportunity to demonstrate your ability to communicate effectively and engage in a discussion. You are asked a selection of questions based on the topic talked about in Part 2. The discussion will last for 3 to 4 minutes. You should be ready to present your opinions and support them with clear and relevant points. Remember, it's not about just saying what you think, but explaining why you think that way. So, look at the questions and listen to the discussion.
Now I'm going to ask you a few questions related to the topic you have just talked about. This part of the test will last approximately 3 minutes. Before we start, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. I'm ready to answer your questions.
Do you think that children should be involved in making the decision about moving house?
Well, I believe that children should be involved the decision to move house, as it's a matter that affects all the family, so their opinion should be valued, especially if they are older and capable of understanding the reasons behind the move. Parents can help children feel more in control of their lives by including them in the discussion. However, it's important that the final decision should be by the parents, as they are responsible for the overall well-being of the family and need to consider things such as job opportunities, money, and their children's education.
That's a well-balanced viewpoint, Lila. Now let's talk about the differences between people living in the city and those in the countryside. What do you think about this?
I believe there are indeed differences between people living in the city and those in the countryside, but these differences don't necessarily make one lifestyle superior to the other. City people often have greater access to job opportunities, education, and modern conveniences. However, they might also face higher stress levels, pollution, and a more fast-paced lifestyle. On the other hand, people in the countryside often enjoy a quieter, more natural environment, which can be less stressful, but it's important to consider that there may be fewer jobs and access to some services can be limited. It all comes down to personal preferences and what suits one's lifestyle, career, and family needs. I think both city and countryside living have their unique advantages and drawbacks, and what works best for an individual or family depends on what they want to get out of life.
Your response reflects a thoughtful view, Lila. Now, in many cultures, older family members live with the younger family members. Do you think this is a good idea?
I believe that having older family members live with younger family members can be a good thing. Living with people of different generations helps families stay close and lets older generations pass on their knowledge, experience, and cultural values to younger generations. It can also give seniors important emotional support, which is very important for their health. This living arrangement can help the family feel like they belong and are responsible for each other, which can strengthen a sense of unity and shared responsibility. However, it's important to stress that this arrangement should always be voluntary and agreed upon, never forced on anyone in the family. It is important to respect everyone's needs and wants, and good communication is key to keeping the living space peaceful.
That's very interesting. Thank you. This is the end of the test.